Do you know who the hottest team on the recruiting trail is right now? It's not USC. It's not. You got to go way further east. I mean, like, way further east. Some would say as far east as you can go in major college football. I'd have to check a map. The Pitt Panthers. Yeah, Pittsburgh. That's right. Pitt is the hottest team on the trail. Brian Smith, Locked On recruiting analyst and host of the Portal podcast, is here to discuss. So, Brian, since June 6th, we're recording this show on June 9th. It is airing first and foremost on June 10th. Since the 6th of June, Pitt has added 10 players. 10 players. Some schools haven't had an actual commitment in months. Pitt has added 10 since Friday. Can you explain what's going on here?
Well, I mean, I think everybody already knew. Pat Narduzzi, with his great personality, just wows everybody, and that's why they're all coming. That's what it is. No, I honestly, I don't, because like I was going through my timeline and looking at the commitments. I'm like, well, let me go to Rivals. They do it by date. You know, I just start going, I'm like, this is double digits. When was the last time I saw something like this? I don't honestly know the answer to that. And here's the thing. Baltimore, in-state, Florida, Texas. When did Pittsburgh become a national recruiting? Georgia. This is a really random list in addition to some really good players. So I'm surprised. A few of the kids are a little underrated, and they still take some guys that they think they can project. But I'm not even talking about that. The organization, Spencer, to get 10 guys, I don't give a crap if you're Ohio State and they just won the title. It's hard to get 5 guys in a week. 10 in an elongated weekend? It's just absolutely unfathomable. And congrats to them for getting it done. And maybe they were trying to like time it all up. But part of that is you just got to wow some kids because some of them committed during the weekend while they were on campus, etc. This is absolutely wild. Tip of the cap, by the way, to Pittsburgh's recruiting staff, everybody, and even Pat Narduzzi, the masterful personality that he is, that probably just is stunning for young people.
Did you know that none of Pitt's last 3 recruiting classes rank inside the top 40 in the country, Brian? None of them.
Right.
You'd have to go back a ways. I'll get to that in a moment. The last time they had a class that was inside the top 25. But that's where they are right now. I think the logical follow-up is how sustainable is that ranking at the moment? Because to your point, these are not the highest rated kids in the country at their position. They might go up a hair, but you're dealing with, top 25 to top 40 players at their position nationally, not top 10 to top 15 guys necessarily. So is their current ranking of a top 25 recruiting class just based on volume, really? Or is there some staying power to this to where once other schools start to pick up commitments, they won't just, pass Pitt immediately in the 2026 rankings?
I would say it's somewhere in between. I mean, they've got a pretty good size class already. The question is for Pitt, can they get a few more guys? Like they got Rodney Dunbar, one of the kids that I know from this group. He's a receiver from Thomas County Central in South Georgia. Really good player. They need 2 or 3 more guys like that, or they will fall down. But maybe they're, again, I was picking on Narduzzi there for a second, but like they figured out something. Who's to say they're not going to get a few more guys that are higher ranked players? And if you're getting kids from Pearland, Texas, which is basically Houston, South Georgia, you're getting kids from Virginia, etc. They got a kid from Clearwater High School in Florida. Like, there's no reason to think they're not going to get a few more really good players. So maybe this is the year they break into the top 25. By the way, it shouldn't be that hard at Pittsburgh to have a top 25 class. They share facilities with the Steelers. Come on. It can't be that hard.
Well, do you think that's a draw, or do you think it could be a detriment to guys at all? Because college I talk about the distinction between the NFL and college football a lot on this very show, and if it has more of an NFL feel to it, do you think that can turn guys away? Because geographically, you're right. Look at the way Penn State recruits and tell me why Pitt should be, as far down as they are. They hit the number 28 class in their class of 2021 cycle. That's about the highest they've been in the Pat Narduzzi era.
I don't know what exactly it is, but like maybe it's part of its NIL and all that. But from what little I know, most of the kids that I speak to are fascinated with NFL facilities and all that. Ironically, some of them, and you and I have talked about this a little bit, like Oregon, Texas A&M, Georgia, some of these places have better facilities than the NFL does because they're trying to wow recruits. You're drafted into the NFL. But it's the Steelers too. Like it's not just a NFL franchise. They've shared stuff with the Steelers. That's a top 5 franchise all time in the NFL. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard with that. And its location. They're on the edge of Ohio. They're in Western Pennsylvania. There's all kinds of talent out there. They should do better. Maybe this is the start of something, but they got to start beating Penn State for in-state kids. I don't remember the last time they got a kid over Penn State. That is insane. In the 80s and 90s, that went back and forth for every kid. So they got to figure that out if they're going to take a major step forward. But I don't know. Like it's kind of like their season last year. Won their first 6, lost their last 7. They were a roller coaster. Their recruiting has been that way too. So maybe this is the year. They need some consistency there to finish out. That would be the other thing. If they win big this year, maybe they can flip some kids at the end to get a top 25 class. That always helps. Like Florida's in that situation, Florida State, some other schools, Auburn, like these coaches that are a little bit of a hot seat. If they win this year, they'll get kids later on too, guaranteed.
So it's trivia time, Brian. The highest ranked class I mentioned in the Pat Narduzzi era, it was the 2021 cycle where they hit number 28 with their high school recruiting class, not factoring in the portal. Can you tell me the last time the Pittsburgh football program pulled in a top 25 high school recruiting class? It has happened this century, but do you know the year that it took place?
I guess more like 2011, 2012, something like that.
Not bad. 2008 is the answer. 2008. I don't know that I couldn't even tell you Pitt's head coach in 2008. I don't recall that era of Panther football. But do you think there is legitimate top 25 potential at a school like Pitt that's brand is, I think, fine? The school, I'm not up to date with what their NIL commitment and how on track their administration is with their coaching staff and all that sort of stuff behind the scenes. But just from your vantage point as someone who's covered recruiting for a long time, could Pitt move from being a top 40, 50 recruiting school to being a top maybe 25, 30 year in and year out without cracking the top 20 all the time?
Easily. They could be a top 15 program if they had the right booster because of location. They got like the NIL. I've never heard anything about their NIL. And from my experience over the last few years, Spencer, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So that might be part of it. Like name the last 4-star recruit that they got from Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Who? That's the thing.
Got me.
That's what I mean. Like at some point it's money. And part of it, I know last year, one of the reasons they got better is the kids that were just greedy, they got rid of them. So they got more chemistry. But you got to find that in-between fine line, that silver lining. Some of the kids, you're going to have to pay to get up over the top. And they don't have the depth that they used to. I mean, that used to be a top 15 program every year. 70s and 80s, they were dominant. And they just – something changed in the administration, something, because the money is just not there. I don't know why. I've never looked into it, but like Penn State doesn't even think about them anymore. That's sad. And it'd be great if Pittsburgh was better, to be honest. I wish they were, but something's off. And I'm guessing the backing is financial. That's not a good thing. So
maybe they're just trying to vanquish the demons of the 2008 year of Pitt football. Let me wrap this segment with this doozy of a rabbit hole that I just went down while you were talking, Brian. So the head coach for Pitt in 2008 was not. You know who it was?
No, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Well, no, you got to say it. I want to see if you. Who do you think it was?
Was it the mustache?
Dave Wanstead? Yes, it was. It was indeed. Do you know the score of the Sun Bowl that they lost to Oregon State, then a member of the Pac-10?
I'm guessing it was ugly by the look on your face. Oh, wow. 30-0.
No. 3-0.
Oh, that's right. That was one of the worst games of all time. I remember that. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
They made fun of that
3
on
nothing.
ESPN and everything. Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
terrible football.
the Beavs, coached by Mike Riley, got the win over the Dave Wanstedt coached Pitt Panthers in 2008. That's the last time Pitt's recruiting was ranked as high as it is right now. We'll see if they can sustain. Brian Smith, longtime recruiting analyst, great as always, my man. Thoughts on how this House settlement impacts the Big 12? It is good news for a change.